I have started one e-com site a month back in the expired domain from the same niche. Currently 160 articles live and almost 200 product pages live, and planning to churn 60 blog posts per month. So my question will be, can I start heavy with links? So should I wait for 2 months with doing social sharing and pillow link? Um, Sorry, let me make sure I read this correctly. Basically, you got a site with a bunch of pages, a bunch of articles. You're gonna be doing a bunch of articles each month.
Like expired domain with
Expired, okay.
going on with like a heavy content campaign,
Mm,
right? Because I mean, 160 live within 2 months,
that's a lot.
200 product pages live. I mean, that's a lot. And so, yeah, I think there's probably a few questions that I'd have to know the answers to really answer. But again, this is kind of like the question that was asked earlier. Um, if you're asking, then it's probably best you're already working with an expired domain. And typically, if we're talking about an expired domain versus an age domain, so one that was previously de-indexed or just not in Google Index, um, there's typically a ramp up time to where your new content is going to start moving through the SERPs with an expired domain. And so I don't know exactly where you're at with that. Or maybe you said expired and it was actually aged. But either way, 160 articles live. If they're unique content, unique, well-written context, slightly optimized towards their targets, and everything is perfect, then you've got a huge content campaign. And so it'd be natural for backlinks or for press to hit this site, right? If it was useful information that was usable to the end user. So hypothetically, you could go a little further than just doing pillow links and social sharing at this point. You could, do guest posts, niche edits. Again, I would abstain from anything like a PBN. But with doing um, that many articles or pushing that much content, you could probably be a little bit more aggressive than normal. Let's say you're doing like 5 to 10 pages a month, something like that. Uh, but having said that, you know, when we talk about product pages, I'm curious about how much of this is maybe auto-generated. And if it's not, and it's all been done very well, meaning no keyword cannibalization, etc., um, then yeah, you could hypothetically get a little bit more aggressive with your backlinking campaign, especially since you're reviving an old brand. But don't expect that just because you're going to add a ton of links right there for the first 1, 2, maybe even 3 to 6 months off an expired domain, you're just going to pop up in the SERPs. Oftentimes that's not the case. Oftentimes you're going to have to keep something like that going, and it's more about keeping it looking like a natural progression over time than it is just like this instant jump up over a month or two of heavy backlinking.
So yeah, like Nick was saying, I feel like this question all really kind of hinges on what's happening with the expired domain, right? Um, you know, it,
That and the
it,
articles
it
quality,
yeah, it's
yeah.
true. But yeah, like let's just go ahead and assume the articles are good, that they're
Hmm.
quality. Um,
Yeah.
they don't have to be the best in the world, but they're unique and they're nice articles. Um, so yeah, the one thing I would really be looking at is what's happening with the expired domain first. Is the site really starting to pop for your keywords yet, or is it still kind of like dead in the water or whatever? If it's starting to pop, I would say, and you're adding this amount of good quality content, and um, you might chill out for a month or whatever, and then you could probably start being pretty aggressive with your link building a good amount of links. Um, but
Having,
sorry, go ahead.
sorry. Having said that, though, now that I think about it, even though we're talking about being aggressive, I would not advise going after money anchors quite yet. Like the entire thing is just about building press surrounding your brand, that this thing is big, it's massive, it's got a lot of following, people are talking about it, and that's what you're emulating whenever you're building a backlink profile, right? So
Yeah.
homepage, natural
That's
anchors,
all right.
like
Yeah.
naked, branded, all that kind of stuff, right? So we're not talking about, hey, hit those inner pages. No, we're talking about building the broad spectrum, the broad picture, right? And then once everything starts resonating in the SERPs like we want to, that's when we can maybe be a little bit more aggressive with some of our
I guess I
anchors.
should have been more specific. I didn't mean start hammering exact match anchors right as soon as the site starts to
Well, I
pop.
didn't think about it. Yeah, I didn't think about it until you started talking though, and then I was like, oh yeah, I didn't even touch on that.
But yeah, I just meant you could, basically if the expired domain is coming to life and you're adding a ton of content and the site, it's picking up this content pretty quickly and starting to kind of rank it somewhere in the middle kind of area, that you could probably build a pretty good amount of backlinks per month. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, like Nick was saying, you might want to, as far as how aggressive you are with like the anchors and stuff, you might want to chill out a little bit in the beginning and just do more to the homepage in the beginning with natural anchors. I wouldn't mess around with PBN links right away. Um, and yeah, and then
Even when using, so even when using an age domain, I mean, like your first few months are going to be about building the brand image. So with your backlinking campaign, you're still going to be hyper aggressive more towards building the overall brand, rather than targeted products and stuff like that. And if you do that, typically, whenever you've got like an authority site, if it's this large and you're really kind of pushing out the general press, you'll start to see your product pages and stuff resonate positively in the SERPs. And then you can kind of fine tune them with more aggressive backlinking campaigns.
um, yeah, and I'm actually gonna do a cool a post tomorrow in the group about a site I saw recently. Um, basically, I don't know, I don't think it was expired. I think they got the domain at auction or whatever, but basically they took this domain that was for something completely unrelated, and they're actually doing really well with it. But it's kind of a funny story, especially with like link profiles and a lot of the stuff. I think people think about things in a very like black and white way. And there's obviously
Hmm.
a lot of stuff that can still work that when you look at it, you're just gonna think, oh my God, how is
Yeah,
this
for
possible
sure.
or whatever. But it's all, we're always talking best practices here. We want you guys' projects to succeed very well in the long term. So that's the advice we're giving here. Um, yeah, anything else to add about that, Nick?
Nothing with that.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to check the description below for links to our blog for more info on this topic, along with a bunch of other cool stuff like case studies, our Facebook community, and our link building services. And like always, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell if you enjoyed the video. Thanks and happy ranking.